Wait a second, aren't I the Erector and what I've made the erection? Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. Silencer Shop Authority Show and Tell. Today we have another can by Q. This is their Erector. The Erector is a 22 rimfire direct thread can at 1/2 inch by 28 threads. When fully erect, it stands a stout 7.6 inches. The beauty of this suppressor is that it's tubeless and completely modular to fit your needs and desired sound reduction. If you wanted, it can be as short as 1.658 inches, or if you want to be an average Joe, 7 baffles including the blast baffle will get you right at 5.625 inches. That's what she said anyways. Each 7075 T6 aluminum baffle is approximately 0.2 ounces. The end cap is 0.1 ounce. The blast baffle is 17.4 stainless and is the serialized part and weighs 0.6 ounces. The threaded adapter is also aluminum and weighs 0.2 ounces. In its longest configuration, you're at 2.6 ounces. If you ran it with 7, you're at 2.1 ounces. So needless to say, this sucker is light. The El Camino that we tested in the original configuration was 4.3, and that felt like it didn't exist in your hand. This feels like there's nothing there at all. Diameter of the largest part of the baffles is 0.994 inches. The exit hole on the end cap is 0.280. MSRP at the time of review was $4.99. Silencer Shop does not have these up on the site yet, so I'll have to throw the link in the description below when they become available. As far as ratings go, this is a 22 rimfire and smaller calibers only. It is not full auto rated and not rated for any 5.7 by 28mm or 22 Magnum or 22 Hornet. I emailed Q to inquire about the use of subsonic 5.7 or 22 Magnum, but they asserted that it would still not be recommended. The lawyer shit information section on the manual points this out, so get an El Camino if you want to use it with 5.7. Do note that like other 22 rimfire cans, be mindful of your host thread length. The manual states that if they're over 625 thousandths, you should use a threaded spacer that they provide. I didn't get one in the box, and some of the information online doesn't seem to indicate that you would get one, but you can pick these up pretty much anywhere, and I do believe Silencer Shop has the threaded spacers to accommodate the longer threads. Our hosts that we used this time around were our 1911-22 by Sig Sauer, and we borrowed a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. We ran into some wind issues on testing on the few days that we had, so pardon any of the background noise. One subsonic followed by one supersonic repeating. We did run this with just the blast baffle and end cap, and it provided a little reduction in noise. I know 13C Gun Reviews tested his all the way from 2 up to the 10 baffles. We found a good compromise in length sound reduction in the 6 to 7 baffle range, with the full stack of 10 being insanely quiet with subsonic ammunition. The manual rates it at 115 decibels with standard velocity CCI ammunition. We used the M22 subsonic from Winchester, definitely quieter than the Kestrel 22 that we tested at the same time as the Erector. It did get pretty warm when using standard velocity ammunition in quick succession from the host, but subsonic ammunition seemed to keep it on the warm side, and blasts of 10 rounds here and there wasn't really an issue removing it from the host to swap it to the other with my bare hands. As far as takedown goes, this is something you definitely should only try at home, kids. Since each baffle is threaded, Q includes two little neat tools to aid in the disassembly and assembly of your suppressor. There's a 1/2 inch socket built into each end of the tool for removal of the end cap. Nice that there's a little Q molded in there too. So if you want to take this all the way down, start with removing the end cap. If you were going to make it shorter, take the first tool and clamp it around the end baffle. Take your other tool with the 1/2 inch socket in there, jam it in there, and you can unscrew your end cap. I've loosened most of this up for the review since it's not really easy to take down on a whim. So now that you have the end cap off, if you wanted to take this baffle off, you would take the second tool again, put it around this baffle, and this is where they recommend the use of a vise and or an 1 3/4 wrench, channel locks, vice grips, or large crescent wrench to put on there to help removal. Essentially you want to just turn it off like that and go down the entire stack, moving the first tool to the baffle behind the one that you want to remove. Now I did find in a pinch, if you didn't have an 1 3/4 wrench, not a lot of people do, or a pair of large channel locks, you can use your AR-15 multi-tool if you have one of these and hook it right in here and use it as a leverage point to undo that baffle. Here's the end cap. Kind of looks like the El Camino end cap. Here's the threads. Here's the back side. Here's one of the aluminum baffles. Again, there's our threads. There's our outside threads. Here's the baffle configuration. Really familiar with the El Camino baffle there. The cone that way and a little cutout there. Blast baffle is the same configuration as the aluminum baffles, except as of course it's made out of 17-4 stainless steel. Same cone shaped baffle. Right here is a threaded adapter. Here's our threads and our area in there. Flip it over. Since this suppressor is aluminum, they do not recommend any metal tools for cleaning, only the use of cleaning solvents and nylon brushes every 1,000 rounds. Baffles don't appear to be too dirty. The threads for each baffle seem to be clean and not exposed to carbon and lead, so that's a good thing. Assembly can be tricky. They recommend that each baffle is only tightened to 6 to 8 foot-pounds. Again, probably why you should only change these around at home. Most people won't have a torque wrench that goes that low, let alone bring one to the range with them every time. I had no issues using the tools in my hands to tighten the baffles down, and after around 300 rounds of use, none of the baffles loosened up on themselves and I didn't have any issues. For assembly, it's going to be pretty much the reverse of disassembly. You can start threading the baffles onto each other to make sure you're not cross-threaded. You know, grab your tool again, clamp each baffle in there, give it a good snug, and then just start assembling, and then move your tool to the next baffle so you're only tightening the new baffle, and keep going until you've got it all the way assembled. Alright, now we're getting to the home stretch here. Positives about the can: weight and performance. At 2.6 ounces with all 10 baffles assembled, it's super quiet with subsonic ammunition, so dispatching that pesky rodent won't alert everyone and their brother. Modularity. I like that you can change the baffles around. You can go from 5 to 6 baffles all the way to 10 if you needed to. Lifetime warranty is there as well. Style points all around. The Erector is unique to say the least. From the design to the very clever packaging and marketing that Q puts out, the Erector is a looker. Negatives about the can? Without having these in the wild for too long or putting thousands and thousands of rounds through it, after all I only have them for a couple weeks of testing, toughness could come into play. Being that this is so lightweight, these baffles are pretty thin. Again, Q only recommends gentle methods of cleanings. I emailed them and asked them about tumbling and they said no. Although If it does become an issue, I'm sure the 17.4 stainless steel blast baffle without a doubt can provide a lifetime of 22 use, and if any of the aluminum baffles degrade due to use, a return to Q probably would be quick and painless. Thank you again to Silencer Shop for providing us with the Erector, Q for making such a cool suppressor, and to everyone for watching. Catch you at the range sometime.